Welcome to Brenda and Heather Yarns' live WAFA video this morning. We would like to let you know that all of our sales are going to be through the Brenda and Heather Yarns.square.site link. So if you would like to purchase anything today, please go to that link. Let me pull up the next slide. You can see over, I guess it's that way. Over here, I'm going to be running a slideshow that you will be able to see various of our skeins and projects that we've worked on. So take a look over there. Just to let you know, I am Heather. This is me. And the other half is Brenda. That's Brenda right there, I guess that way. That's Brenda. Brenda will be replying to all your comments in the comment section today, and she'll be dropping links throughout our um, uh, sale today. I will be just going through a whole bunch of stuff that I have set up, and I won't be responding to anything unless it's super critical, and then Brenda will send me a message. But otherwise, we're just going to jump straight into it because we got a lot to cover today. Now, as I said, all the sales are just going to go through our online store. We already have that set up, so there's no need to comment on that you want to buy something. Just go straight through our online store. You can also get to it through brendaandheatheryarns.com. There's a shop button that'll get you there too. So we have lots of in-stock yarns, so we dye in large quantities so that we can carry things throughout the year. So if you see something today you like, most likely we have several of it at our store, so go check that out. We do have some things listed for pre-order, and right now our pre-orders are taking 2 to 3 weeks to fill. So if you see something that's a pre-order, go ahead and order it. If for some reason there's something that lists pre-order but it's not available for pre-order, you can email us at brendaandheatheryarns at gmail.com and we can fix that. We're working on our store to update it. So how else can you find us? Well, you can connect with us on Facebook. So you can go to Brenda and Heather Yarns here on Facebook. And Brenda can be dropping the links. So if you check the chat, you'll find links. Otherwise, just search for us. You can also find us on Instagram. That's Ba Yarns on Instagram, all one word. Ba Yarns is short for Brenda and Heather. We also, as I said, you can email us. Email is brendaandheatheryarns at gmail.com. And again, you can, well, actually, I haven't said this yet. You can sign up for our email newsletter. Now, if you saw that very first picture I showed of Brenda, she is wearing a green cowl that she designed using some of our yarn and a speckled yarn to go with it. So if you sign up for our email newsletter right now over at brendaandheatheryarns.com, you will get the option to download that pattern for free. I'm going to show you a close-up of that pattern now. So you can see this is a lovely textured cowl. It has a little bit of a complicated look, but it's just a lot of slip stitching. So there's two different colors, and it's just slipping some of the colors over the other color, but it's not working two colors within a round. It's just one color at a time. So it's very doable, very achievable, and you get a free pattern. Go sign up for our email newsletter. Now, we are participating in the yarn crawl. As you can see up there in the corner, there is 2 yarn crawl stickers. We have plant-based yarns that are available for yarn crawl stickers, and then we also have hand-dyed yarn. So any plant-based yarn today, if you're part of the yarn crawl, you can leave it in the comment, but we'll include a sticker for the plant-based yarns that get the plant-based sticker, and then the hand-dyed yarns is everything else. So any other yarn you buy from us, you'll get the hand-dyed sticker. And we are doing the scavenger hunt. So there you go. That's our scavenger icon. And let me make that viewable so you can check that out. And again, we are doing the yarn crawl. So we have the plant-based stickers and the hand-dyed yarn stickers to get on your little passport. Now, if you haven't done the yarn crawl yet, you still can. You can find the WAFA guide, go through that, find all the information, and then go back and watch all the videos again and find out what all this stuff is about. So definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. And if you just do the scavenger hunt, you don't actually have to purchase anything to participate in that. Now, moving on, I'm going to talk about our plant-based yarns for a little bit. one of the things that we do here at Brenda and Heather Yarns that sets us apart from everyone else is we dye what we call a shawl ball. And this is a 170-gram skein of yarn. It is, this one in particular is bamboo, and this is a 250-gram skein, in fact. So the shawl balls are these oversized skeins that are incrementally dyed. So if you look at the picture over there, there's a little bit of light blue at the center top of the triangle, and then as you progress and increase through your project, we give more yardage to each color change, and so you end up at the end having a same visual weight of color at the bottom that you would higher up in the shawl. So that's a little bit different than normally working with a gradient, where as you progress through it, your color changes get a little thinner and a little thinner, and you end up having something that looks really lovely, but we want to do something different. So our shawl balls, and you can see this compared to a 100-gram skein, they're much larger because they are. And you will be able to do a lot with this and achieve most shawls with just one skein. So we call it a one skein wonder project, even though it's a really big skein. But we have this colorway that we call Mountain Lake, and this is on our bamboo base. We also have it on a cotton bamboo base, and I'll click over to that picture. And this is a 100-gram gradient, and this one is the equal transition gradient. We used to do these a lot more, but we've retired this for the most part. We still do it a little bit on the cotton yarn or cotton bamboo. We also do it a little bit for special releases, and we also do it somewhat on our sport weight yarn. So if you check out our sport weight page, which I'll talk about in a little bit, it's incremental in what we do there. Then, just as a contrast, one of the other things we do other than gradient yarns is we do self-striping yarns. And it's a little hard to see in this camera shot, but this one over here on this side, you can see it has a lot of marbling of the color, whereas this one has bigger, slow chunks of color. So we have gradients and we have self-striping yarns. And I will pull up a picture of this lovely self-striping colorway. It is Mountain Lake. It is a mashup of two blue colors, and we see ourselves doing more of this, where we take maybe two purples, two pinks, and somehow kind of fusing them together. We do various striping types, everything from something smooth gradient transition striping like this, which we call palindromes, to something much more active, and we will be able to utilize those in different ways based on what we're going for with the striping yarn. And I'm going to show you a couple more plant-based yarns, but if you go to our website and click on the plant-based tab, or our online store, go to the plant-based yarn tab, you will see everything we have in stock that's also available for that plant-based yarn crawl sticker. And so I'm going to show you a couple more real quick. This is one of our most popular colorways. Now, both the Mountain Lake and the Peacock are available on wool bases as well. So if you go to our gradients tab on the store, you'll see these colorways again. They're much brighter and more vivid on the wools because we use bright protein acid dyes for dyeing our wools, and the cottons, the way we dye, it's a little bit more subdued, but it's still quite vibrant. It's still really a beautiful colorway. And this is the shawl ball in the Peacock colorway. This is the 100-gram gradient. This is a fingering weight. This is a little bit thicker base, and then we also have striping. So there's lots of options that you can do with these, or combining them all, which I'll talk about later. And let's see. Next, I'm going to talk about our yarn club, and this is something that we started up a while ago. And we did a stock yarn club, and we had a lot of fun with it. We did striping yarns, we did gradient yarns, and we hit on to something though that we really liked. And what we ended up doing is making a sock yarn that was matching 50-gram skeins. So these are two identical skeins of yarn, and each one is enough to make a sock. And if you look at the picture, that is the sock that's made with these yarns, and I have that sock right here. So these socks are called, and I forgot to put this link in there, but this pattern is a little biased. It was written by Brenda specifically to make these these socks. So, and she wrote this pattern to have this striping section in the colorway on the bias. So it gave that rainbow effect. So if you stick your legs together, you have the nice rainbow arching through the sky. The thing about this is all one skein of yarn. You don't have to cut, you don't have to do anything, no joining. You start top or bottom, make yourself a sock or make yourself a cowl or shawl or whatever you want to do. But this is all integrated into that skein of yarn. And so we did this for our previous sock club, and we were like, this is really cool. What can we do with this again? And so we ended up starting a whole mystery sock club on just that concept. And we have released one colorway already, and that one is called Western Blaze. And again, it's 2 matching 50-gram skeins of sock yarn. And when you work them up, you will make a identical pair of socks. That's that one right there in the picture. And I also forgot to put this link in there for Brenda to copy and paste, but this is the chickadee sock. And this sock pattern I wrote specifically to go with this yarn to sort of show off a little bit of that sky that you can see in the picture there. Our sock club is based off of pictures, the Mystery Sock Club. So we will show off the Mystery Sock Club picture and then dye a yarn to coordinate to that photograph, or it's inspired by that photograph. And so we have done that very successfully, we think, with this one. And this was the first colorway in our sock yarn club. We have tons more of this. We decided, since we were doing a lot of online shows and not actual shows this year, we took orders up to a point, and then we just dyed more than we had orders for, so that as people came across us, they could join the club. So there are plenty of these skeins still available. You can purchase just this colorway, or you can go ahead and join the whole club. Now with the club, every other month, it's just going to be 3 colorways right now, but every other month, July, September, and then November, we put out a colorway. So we're getting ready to release our second colorway. And the inspiration photo for our second colorway is this photograph right here. So our September colorway will be based on this photograph that you see. And this is the Grand Prismatic Springs in Yellowstone. So it's one of those hot springs, has all this wonderful colors that we can play with. So if you are kind of interested in this, you can click one of the links Brenda's dropping in to read more about it. You can go to our website and read more about it on our Club Yarn page. If you have any questions, just email us, brendaandheatheryarns@gmail.com. We are more than happy to answer. You can also send us Facebook messages, Instagram direct. Email's great because then we can put all sorts of information and cut and paste things for you. So the third colorway, we will be releasing that info in about 2 weeks. So you'll see the inspiration photo for that when we actually send out this current second colorway to all the club members. And again, you can buy any one of these individually, or you can go ahead and buy all 3. If you buy all 3, you get a little bit of a discount. But totally forgot what I was gonna say. But with the club, yeah, we're gonna reveal that second our third colorway inspiration photo in a couple weeks. So if you want to find out what we're doing, again, go to our social media and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. If you're on Twitter, I just post things to Twitter and it directs you back to Instagram. So however you get social media, we'll try to get you information. But again, a really great way to do it is for us to deliver the information straight to you through an email. And we send these out whenever. Typically, it was when a festival was going to happen, but we're now sending them out when we release a new colorway, when we have a sale going on, when some event is going on like this. We're going to do some more fiber events online in the future, but you can just get all the information. And again, if you want, you can sign up for our email newsletter on our website, and you will get this photo or this cowl pattern that's in the photograph here, and that's called Give 'em the Slip by Brenda. Brenda actually wrote that pattern, and it uses one of our gradients and a speckling yarn. We're working on potentially kitting that with some of the 100-gram gradients we have, which is just a few right now, but we're working on how to utilize 100-gram gradients in our business model. But the speckled yarn was actually dyed by a friend of ours. So if you want that information, let us know. We'll get you her info. She has lovely yarns. And we're going to move on now to, away from the sock club stuff, to some sale items that is special just for today and tomorrow. We have a sale going on. Right now, it is a uh, sale on our cartoon sock yarns. And we draw inspiration from all sorts of things, everything from like photographs like you see, just something we see out in the world, and or just some in our imagination, like the meadow sock, that lovely one that this yarn was inspired by. It was just this idea we had. How can we do this in a skein yarn and not have to be changing colors all the time? So anyway, it's just like an idea. But then we also draw inspiration from just fun things. And so we have several cartoon yarns. These are on sale this today and tomorrow for 15% off if you use the coupon cartoon. CARTOON. Brenda's dropping links in the chat. So type that in and you will get a 15% discount on whatever we have there. That's a cartoon yarn. We've got a little section set up on the striping yarn page so you can quickly find those. And this one right here is Cowabunga, and it is based off of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, something we watched as a kid. And I want to show you something about our sock yarns and all of our yarns because they're striping and gradient. If you take this and put this in your stash and you pull it out later, you're like, oh, I forget. What does it do? It says it stripes. Well, we put on all of our cards, and it might be a little blurry. I apologize for the autofocus, but this striping little image is on all our cards so that you know what it's going to do. And so you can see right there in that sock pattern that this is a striping sock yarn. And there's just a little bit of a slip stitch pattern going on in here that I wrote this pattern. It's called Cowabunga to go with the Cowabunga yarn. Just something that kind of plays with the stripes a little bit. Now, all these patterns that you're seeing today that we have written, if you purchase yarn from us today or tomorrow while the sale's going on, or kind of right now for WAFA, we will include a pattern for free. We'll give you what we call the free kit upgrade. So you buy a striping sock yarn, say, hey, I want that Cowabunga pattern. Put it in the comments, in the notes when you purchase it, and if you forget, you can always email us. But we'll go ahead and, like I said, we'll give you the free kit upgrade this weekend. But we have the Cowabunga yarn. That was one of our original colorways we had done that we just love and we keep dying. But we also have several more colorways. This is Moon Man, or Goodbye Moon Man. Very bright, lovely, vivid, tonal, kind of speckly tonal that we did within the stripes. We also have some of these I'm going to kind of go through a little quicker. Just if you don't know anything about the cartoons, it's not a big deal. You can look at this and say, I really like that colorway. I think it'd make a great pair of socks or a cowl or something, or a hat. But we definitely do go into some of those geeky cultures because we like those things. But like I said, even if you're not into it, you can still have fun with the colorways. And then we have, of course, a couple that are Pokemon colorways. So this one is, you said it, Pikachu, Pika Pika. This one is hanging in front of the camera. This one is Gotta Catch 'Em All. This is based off of the Pokemon balls. But again, looks really cool. It's a very active striping pattern. And this shows you a really good example of what we really like to do with our striping yarns. We really love to play with color. We love the thick and thin stripes. And we will look at an object and we say, let's turn this into a striping pattern. So if you take different chunks of that colorway, those are the different Pokemon balls. Really cool if you know it. If you don't, still just a fun yarn. Now, one of the other ones that I'm going to talk just a little bit more about is this colorway. This one is a lovely gradient striping yarn. So you can see it transitions from that white through some pinky red, some purpley pink, down to purple, and ends in blue. This is based off of the Steven Universe Crystal Gems is what it's called. And this is the striping yarn version. And it stripes up just like you see right there. Now, we had a special request, and this lady wanted to make a scarf out of, or kind of like a shawlette, out of some striping yarn, but she was a crocheter, and she was like, well, what's it going to do? We're like, well, with crocheting, all your stripes they're all going to be a little bit smaller in your color repeats because crocheting uses more yardage. And so after talking to her for a little while, we were like, you know what we can do? We're the dyers. We can do whatever we want. So we took this repeat of the white to the blue, and instead of it happening many, many times over the course of, say, a sock, this is what we designed all our striping yarns to pretty much do, is you'll see all these samples showing what it's going to do on a pair of socks. We took that and we took that one section, that white down to the I'm holding upside down, sorry, the white down to the blue, and we stretched it out. So we made that, and it was really exciting when it actually worked. We went from the white to blue, and we stretched it out from 20 yards to 100-yard repeat. So instead of happening many times over the course of a sock, it would only happen 4 times in a pair of socks if you made socks with it. But otherwise, if you're going to crochet a scarf or a shawlette or something with it, you're going to have these huge gradient color repeats that stripe, and that's going to look really awesome. So she was very excited when we said that, and so we decided to dye it. We dyed extra. So this is the Crystal Gems colorway, so you can purchase it in the small stripes, which is the regular striping, or you can purchase it in the big stripes version. So the big stripes is that great one, so whether you crochet, whether you just want longer repeats, and it's something we're pretty excited about, having been able to create 100-gram striping yarn, or 100-yard striping yarn, so that happens 4 times within a 100-gram skein. That's it's something we geek out about because we do striping yarn. We do all the work, so you don't have to. And if you are interested in any of this stuff that we're doing, follow us on social media because we are frequently posting things. We're actually trying to work on a YouTube channel, which I don't want to promote too much, but as we get time, we're going to try to put more on that, just showing off the things we do with our striping yarn because it's so different. So follow along and find out all about this. And I just realized I have that 100-yard versus the smaller striping. So you can see you get lots of big, large chunks of color in that big striping one. And the last colorway I'm going to show off in the cartoon series that's on sale with the coupon code CARTOON is this one. And this one is called Lumpy Bubblegum. Lumpy Space Princess, Princess Bubblegum. It's a cartoon thing, so we mashed them up, put the inspiration from those characters into one colorway. And what I did with this is I used it in conjunction with a solid. Now, we dye striping yarns and gradients. That's what we specialize in. However, we can dye anything. And so what we started dyeing was solid coordinates to go with our yarns. So if you want a little bit more yardage to do something with a shawl, or in this example, you can see a sweater that I made. I used the striping yarn for the sleeves, and I used a solid coordinate that we dyed for the body. And this is a pattern that was written by Stephanie Lotfin, or Telly Bean Knits. And it's a little sock arm sweater. She actually has this version for adults too, and she has large size ranges from small to larger busts, and you can check that out. But it's a really great pattern and that uses the striping on the sleeves and the solid for the body. So this is just one example of what more you can do with sock yarn that's striping sock yarn. And I'm going to show off a couple cute little photos here of one of Brenda's kids wearing the sweater. We threw it on her one day, and she had a little bit of fun. The sweater is actually, I knit the 2 to 3 size sweater, somewhere in that range. So you can see it's a little short on her sleeves, but it's kids grow up mostly, so you can get a lot of play out of those sweaters. And so, excuse me. One of the other things that we do in the sweater world is, other than the fingering weight sweaters, we dye sport weight yarn in a limited amount, but you can see that we have over here a couple samples of some sport weight yarn that we've dyed. If you go to our sport weight page, you'll see that we have a few more colorway options, and you'll see that we have some information at the top talking about putting together a kit. If you have any questions about that, please just email us, brendaandheatheryarns@gmail.com, and we can help you figure out what you need. Brenda wrote a pattern called Cardi by Bee, and it utilizes a striping yarn. Now, this is one of our harder striping yarns. I think it's out of stock right now, but we have a gradient version, and you can see the other sweater there I'll show off in a second. It uses a gradient for the body, so this is no color changing. This is just one skein of yarn for the body and one skein of yarn for the sleeves. Now, the gradient is the body, and the striping is the sleeves. I'll show off this pattern right here. Again, this is the gradient for the body and the striping version for the sleeves. So this one also has a little bit extra watermelon rind for the bottom because Brenda didn't need a second skein of the gradient, and so we didn't want you to have like way too much yarn of a gradient that you only use a little bit of. So we figured out you could dye a little bit extra watermelon rind, and that works out pretty good. So visit our Sport Weight page, learn about that. You can get that pattern, Cardi by Bee, as part of a kit upgrade. It's included in that, but again, any of the patterns we show off that are ours, you can get for free with purchase a yarn today. The ones by other folks, which I'm going to show off a few shawls right now, those are not ones that we can offer, but you can purchase them and support a designer who creates beautiful work. So I'm going to show you a couple shawls real quick, just to show off some of the shawl balls that we do. This is one called Slice of Summer that Brenda wrote, and she wrote it to go with specifically our Slice of Summer shawl ball. So that's watermelon, of course. We also have a peacock colorway that is just really popular. Everybody loves it. And this is a peacock, prancing peacock pattern that Brenda wrote to accent that particular colorway. You could always use the Slice of Summer pattern with this. It looks really complicated, but it's just one you got to kind of follow along. One pattern that we didn't write, but was knit in one of our colorways. This is the Rainbow Connection colorway. This is that really popular wingspan shawl, and this is the medium size, and I can't really stretch it out too much, but yeah, you can see that's a really fun pattern. It really shows off a colorway really well. So definitely check out that pattern. Another one real quick is this pattern. It's called Ranunculus, and this is one of our shawl ball in the Campaign Supernova colorway. That's just knit on a size 10 US 10 needle. It's and there's some information on larger sizes. Excuse me. With this pattern, but one skein of our yarn turns out great. Now, if you want to combine 2 skeins of our yarn to make a sweater, this one is really awesome. This is a striping for the top and a gradient for the body. That's another Telly Bean knit called Daisy Lady. We have recently been doing some collaborations. This one right here is using one of our gradient skeins, and it's called the Sheet Metal Scarf. This is actually a free pattern, and I'm going to rush because I've got 1 minute left. So go get this free pattern from Stitches and Scraps and check out our striping yarns. And then we also have a coupon code. If you use BOO at checkout, you can get 10% off our new Halloween striping colorway. So check that out. There we go. And if you're going to buy this and the cartoon yarn, do them in 2 separate orders, and we'll just ship them together. No big deal. Any questions, let us know. At Brenda and Heather Yarns, we love yarn, and we want you to love our yarns just as much as we do. So anything we can do to help you out, we're here for you. So thanks for watching. Follow us and have a great weekend. Bye.